See, it looks like it is 7 o'clock on Tuesday. Oops. Now it is 7 o'clock on Tuesday for March. This is the regular board meeting of the North Hudson Village Trustees, and it has been duly noted and posted. We will call this to order, and the invocation for this evening is, Lord, you are the rock and strength of this nation. You are the only one who can deliver us from our enemies. We trust in you and pray humbly for your guidance and direction for this great nation. Give us wisdom to make right choices. Help us to live in such a way that your name will be honored in all things. May you forever be praised. Roll call, please.
Trustee Head.
Here.
Klein.
Here.
O'Brien Berglund.
Here.
Rhodey.
Here.
Standifer.
Here.
President Wecken.
Here.
Trustee Zappa.
Here.
Okay. Item number 2 on the agenda, review minutes from the regular board meeting from 4 February 2014. Is there any?
Move to approve the minutes from the regular board meeting from Tuesday, February 4th, 2014.
Second.
Thank you, Clean. Thank you, George. Any comments, corrections, or anything? Okay, the minutes are approved. Comments from the floor is third item on the agenda, an opportunity for residents that are not on the agenda, and we do not, I don't see anybody that isn't listed on the agenda. And item number 4 is a sad item that we have. We lost one of our most active residents, and a very he will be dearly missed. I think a lot of us know Wally Gregerson passed away a little over a week ago. He was past trustee to the village board. He was village president, I believe, from 77 to 91. He was a volunteer, and he loved the village of North Hudson. He was the life of the Pepper Festival for many years, as far as getting it organized and getting stuff done. We express our condolences to the family. I see his grandson Ryan is here. Welcome, Ryan. And we have a proclamation in recognition of Wally Gregerson, and I would read that. Whereas, on behalf of our community, we wish to record our deep sorrow over the passing of Wally Gregerson on Saturday, February 22nd, 2014. And whereas Wally's death leaves our community with a deep feeling of sorrow for the loss of such an honored and respected citizen. And whereas Wally served this community in various capacities too numerous to list, but which should include serving as village trustee, then village president from 1977 to 1991, as well as chair for many of the committees. And whereas Wally demonstrated his concern for the welfare and the well-being of his fellow citizens by his actions, both in his private life and by his participation in numerous civic organizations and projects. And whereas Wally's service was given with such devotion that he earned the respect, admiration, and friendship of all the citizens of our community through his professional leadership and dedication, and our community has sustained a great loss in his death. And whereas the village of North Hudson is deeply indebted to Wally for his service to our community. Now therefore, in recognition of Wally's many contributions to our village and its citizens, we, the North Hudson Village Board of Trustees and the staff, hereby express our deep appreciation for his dedication to the progress of the community, and to extend his family our sincere sympathy upon his passing, dated this 4-day March 2014.
Thanks, Dan.
Thank you, Stan. Well read.
Yeah, that's Next item on the agenda, fire department. Oh, one thing I would like to bring up, we are going to have, when the family puts together, or when they get a picture, we would like to, we will have a little ceremony, and we will post Wally's picture again in the, or in a plaque in the village to show our thanks for his dedication and service to the village. So when the family gets that, Ryan, please let us know, and we'll get something put together. We have Dan out there, and we got two of our greatest presidents will be honored in our village hall. Thank you. Item 5 on the agenda, fire department update, discussion only. Paul?
Yep. I've been appointed to be the representative of North Hudson, down at the Hudson Fire Department. And this is the 2013 annual review report for you guys to look at. You're not going to bore everyone.
Thank you.
A lot of interesting numbers in there. Any questions, comments, concerns? It's pretty self-explanatory, but here you go, Chief. You can email me if you want to discuss any of the topics in there. That's it, Chair.
Okay, short and to the point. Thank you, Paul. Some great pictures and graphics here. I think we'll have a copy of this for any residents. I don't know if we can get this on the, any of this onto the website.
I can email the PDF to Florian from the website. No problem at all.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of good things here, and we are thankful and indebted to her. We have a very good volunteer fire department, and I think they do a fantastic job, and
Seriously.
thank you, Paul, for providing that.
Yeah, the charts and details are all in the back half of it. You'll see.
Appreciate it. Item number 6, application for conveyance of land filed by Michael and Sandra Miser, approval requested. So, we have an issue statement and a suggested motion.
Move to approve the application for conveyance of land between the adjoining properties of Michael and Sandra Miser at 710 Michelson Street North and Lynn and Willa Gunderson at 553 8th Street North.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Colleen. Thank you, George. Discussion. Hearing none. This
Is there
is,
anything, Mr. President, that we should know that is not on here or not in the documentation provided? Anything Mike or Lynn want to talk about?
Mike, go ahead. That'd be great.
The applications in your packets, you'll see that if you go to Lynn Circle, just up the road here, the land between Lynn Circle, north of Lynn Circle, and then south of our house on Michelson Street, there's a lot of undeveloped land up there, owned by several people. We own the northernmost tract, part of Outlot 25. It's landlocked, and so this is a conveyance between adjoining properties. Lynn lives on 8th Street, right, Lynn? But we're kitty corner neighbors, and so we're just transferring a 30 by 50 plot, so you can have a garden.
Gardens are good. I was going to bring that up in the president. Yeah, I was going to bring that up in the president's comments. And just for the record, Mike is the committee chair of the planning commission, and this did not have to go through planning because it's adjoining properties, and it's an agreement between the two property owners. So that's the reason that didn't have to go through
And
plan.
it has been surveyed, and again, I think you should have it all on there. We have a
Yeah.
certified survey map, and it's been filed with the county already.
Very good. Any further discussion?
I'm absolutely in favor of this, but I don't quite understand why we need to approve this.
Terry, why do we have to approve it? It's in the ordinance somewhere, we think.
I have to back out of this one because I did some work for Mike on this. So I don't know that we actually have to, though.
It is in
Did
the
you check
ordinance.
that? Yeah.
Yeah, I actually looked at it today. The difference is it didn't go to plan commission because it's a plan commissions consider subdivision. This is adjoining property owners, so it's just, what it helps the village do is know when we have to change our
Yeah.
maps. contacting Kevin, letting him know so that we don't have maps where people have changed pieces of land and we don't.
There's a
we can't
paragraph
update
in the
it.
zoning chapter of the book that talks about this particular thing, property between adjoining landowners, and it says approval is required by the village board.
Mike, is the issue that this is not right now, prior to the conveyance, a separate identified legal description that's simply being sold? It's creating a new legal description and then conveying the land? Is that the issue?
That's correct. There's,
Okay.
we own part of an outlot, and there's a
Okay.
piece of this outlot that's
All right,
gonna be
then I-
transferred to
then I
him,
get it.
and he'll
All
have a
right.
separate tax ID number for
Okay,
that.
I get it then.
Okay.
That's the part I was missing.
Okay, any other discussion? All in favor of the motion and second, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Happy gardening.
Thank you, Mr. President. Oh, a quick note then on agenda item number 9, the plan commission did not meet last month, so there is no chair update.
Thank you. So you don't have to stick around now. You can go home to your nice.
He's at home, he's got gardening to do.
Yeah, there you go. Well, if he's gardening now, I want to know what he's using to knock that snow down.
Because my gardens are under 4 feet of snow, or thereabouts.
Seedlings in the basement, yeah.
Yeah, no, we've got a lot of stuff in the windows, but I'm running out of south windows right now. Okay. Okay, next item on the agenda, reschedule of the April village board meeting and set a reorg date. The reason that we have to go to, is the, normal meeting would be on 1 April, and there is an election that day. So we would like, we have, in the discussion, we're thinking 25th of March, moving it up a week. So it'd be
Usually do it.
3 weeks from today. Everybody okay with that?
Yeah, I'm not gonna change the world. I'll be in Vegas that day, but
Well, win lots of money. Okay,
this is 21st.
Adding to that, for April, because of the election and the reorg meeting, there won't be committee meetings,
no committee meetings in April.
correct?
Okay. Thank you. So we will, everybody's calendar will be adjusted to March 25th. And we are suggesting that the reorg meeting where we determine committees and swear folks in is on 15 April.
Melissa, is that correct? April 15th?
15, that meets all our qualifications. Okay. So those are,
Stan? You
Yes.
need to state the time for that meeting, because there's a Public Works always scheduled for that same day at 6. And usually we meet at 5 for the reorg meeting.
okay,
But Gloria needs to, I just didn't want you to go on to the next
well,
topic
yeah,
before
well,
this was
Public Works,
squared away.
she just said we're gonna, cancel the.
You're gonna
pub-
cancel that?
Would
All-
you have one, because it's changing?
I won't be able to attend that meeting.
Yeah, and you can wipe the smile off your face now. I mean, show it for the camera. George is smiling that he will be, that he won't be at that meeting. Okay, so is it,
I mean, if there was something that you really have to have
Oh.
done, then yes, but I'm not sure.
Looking
that
at the
there's-
wrong guy.
So what time did you set that for, or?
I'm sorry, I was putting that in. You're talking about the April meeting, not the March meeting, right?
Correct, April.
Yeah,
well, the reorg meeting on the 15th?
Either we have
we
to
need
move,
one in April.
okay, thank you.
Okay, so you want to go, is there a time preference?
We usually do 5 o'clock, just
Okay.
so that it saves a little bit on, staff time,
Okay, I'm good with that.
and that usually gets everybody back in town in time, or does it not work for you guys?
Ted, you're,
5 p.m.? Yeah, I'll make it work.
okay. I think our, possible new member will make it too. Okay, so 5 o'clock on 15 April for the reorg meeting. Thank you, George, for catching that. That's like,
What a pain,
I just
they're
thought-
big bucks.
normal meeting. Can we set those in the calendar? I mean, can Melissa set those?
Sure.
You can,
Finance and board is March 25th at 7, or
Well, the March 25th is normal time, and the reorg on the 15th is at 5. Okay. And next item on the agenda is new business from the board or staff, and president's comments. I have a couple. First one is when Gloria and I were talking prior to this meeting, we had another resident call with frozen water lines. I can't stress enough to the folks, if you're having issues with water pressure or you notice your pressure dropping, please turn your faucets on, try to blow the plug loose or the freeze up. I think we'll continue to have this as it warms up and the sun will pound that, under the streets. Kevin could probably address this better than I, but I know different engineering folks that I know right now. It's a critical time where the streets don't have any snowpack on them, and the frost will go down before it comes out. So please, if you're experiencing those, call the village. We are at the mercy of the city of Hudson. That they have our water utility, and we've asked if we could get a variance to be able to run a pencil stream of water like a lot of places do, and that has, and then they adjust the bill accordingly, but that has not been met with very good.
You just want to take 2 minutes and explain it to the people why, because I've been explaining it left and right. Why it's freezing.
Because the ground is
You don't tell me.
well, I thought, but by explaining that the roads are plowed and the frost doesn't have a blanket of snow, so the frost is going down to the depths where the water lines run from the streets into the houses, which is 6-8 feet usually, I'm guessing, right in that range, depending on who measured, I'm guessing. And right now it's the laterals from the street is the issue. And I had to be, I said, how can we be freezing with this much snow? But it is the street where we don't have the snowpack that's causing the issue. And we have, I think we're over 24 now that we've had to thaw.
18.
Huh?
I think it's 18 now.
I think it's like 27.
27, yeah. They're coming in daily. So, please, if you notice that your water pressure is changing, or if your neighbors have had this problem, that might be a good idea to. It's a lot less hassle and a lot easier to let the water run, and it costs you a few dollars, but it's better than thawing pipes. Next item. Let's see. The county folks have wanted me to announce that. We have the Department of Aging and Disability Resource Center of St. Croix County. March is National Nutrition Month, and they have a program where they deliver meals to some of our inbound senior citizens. And if you contact the folks at the county, if you'd like to volunteer, they sometimes need help, putting the meals together, and they always have room for people to deliver those meals. They have several different routes in Hudson, in North Hudson, and they are always looking for volunteers for that. Daryl, do you know much about that group? Would you like to?
You're doing great.
Okay. Yeah, so, last year they said the Department of Aging and Nutrition provided 19,649 meals to 239 homebound elders in our St. Croix County communities. The meal delivery usually occurs between 11 a.m. and 12:30, so only a few hours are needed, and they do this on Tuesday through Friday, I believe, are the dates. So I'm going to try to fit that into the schedule because they asked if some of the municipal leaders could help out, and I'm going to try to fit that in. I used to do Meals on Wheels, and in a few months when I have a lot more time, I'll do a lot more volunteering with this group because I know some of the seniors that have their meals delivered, and it's very well received.
Stan, who should people call if they'd like to volunteer for this?
Let's see, the county number is 715-381-4360, and Brad Beckman is the administrator, and Brandy Zuli is the outreach coordinator. And, I had an email from Brandy today. She's a part-time employee, so, leave a message, and you can do that. They also have email. You can email them, but I think the best would be to call them at 715-381-4360. And that will be posted in the minutes, and we could probably maybe get that on our website also. And the last thing I have is March is also American Red Cross Month, and the Red Cross has a very nice website, and I'm putting this up. I hope the guys can get it in the camera. That eventually this winter will break, and we come into the season of storms, and we've had issues in the past. And this website, this link here, and we have that on the village website, gives you some ideas and some things you can do for emergency preparedness. You've heard the FEMA folks and everybody talk about you should have 72 hours worth of water and food and stuff in case, we would have the bad storm or whatever. And, it's take a look at that website, and we do have it, and there's a lot of information out there. FEMA and the Red Cross give you some ideas to prepare so that, if we have an emergency, you can say, yeah, we got this and we're okay, we're okay. And then we can help the people that, have the severe weather issues. And the last thing, when the winter does break, like earlier was mentioned, gardening season's coming. And with droughts in California and other places, it'll be a good idea to, if you've got some room on your property, grow a garden, grow some natural foods. It's much better for you. I'm done. Gloria?
About 3 weeks ago, we delivered the used copier down to the senior center, and it was so well received. Kathy, the site manager, was ecstatic that it duplexed and it had so many capabilities that they hadn't had before. And you'll see in the back of your binders that Bonnie Federation had sent in a thank you note, thanking the board for that generous contribution. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Gloria. Melissa? Nothing, you're not gonna talk about the election or anything? Well, are you gonna save that for next time? Ken, the election is April Fool's Day is the election, Yeah, thank you. Okay, item number 9, as was discussed earlier, the Plan Commission did not meet. Item number 10, Personnel and Finance Committee recommendations, claims, and approvals. We have a motion. Let's see, we got some spending.
Dan, I'll move to approve the December 2013 non-recurring claims of $1,727.40 and the February 2014 non-recurring claims of $100,024.45 for claims totaling $101,751.85.
Thank you, Mark. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Darrell. Further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote. George?
Yes.
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 Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Next item, personnel and finance, is, should we go to the staff evaluations? Gloria, just a brief,
Certainly. In your package, you'll see the staff evaluation, request for approval. It was used by the chief and myself for our administrative staff, and it's set up in a fill-in form, which works wonderfully. We thought this was gonna be the last one, but unfortunately it will not work for our Public Works Department, so we have one more to come forward after this.
Thank you, Gloria. Let's see, approval requested. I think this one's, is there any further discussion on that? Okay,
We need a
we
motion.
need a motion. Guess I got ahead of myself.
I'll move to approve the annual performance appraisal form as presented.
Thank you, Colleen. Second? I will, huh? Thanks, Paul. Okay, and, it's no spending or whatever. Any further discussion? All in favor of the staff evaluation forms approval, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Public Works Committee.
Mr. President, I think the only item of significance to report there is what I believe is the finalization of the issue at 400 Monroe. By way of background, I think this board will recall that at the time of the Shop Yards project, to complete that project, some property line vegetation in the easement required removal in order to do the project. The property owner felt that there should be some restoration of those volunteer trees that were removed, but it was clear that we had the proper documentation and the language in the easement to complete the project by removal of those volunteer trees. Property owner is not likely satisfied, but I believe we have resolved this, and I don't think the issue will rise again. So I think that's taken care of. And that's my
Thank you.
report.
Thank you, Darrell. Okay. Next item on the agenda, Public Safety Chair update. Mark?
I'll bring forth our largest issue right now that we're bringing to the board is the installation of temperature control film on windows and security film on doors at the Village Hall. This didn't originate, it's not a public, didn't originate at Public Safety. We just brought it forward as a avenue to control it, to get some attention to it.
Mr. President, in the interest of full disclosure, I think that some background here is important to see how it got here. We discussed this at length this evening in Finance, and the motion to recommend approval of this failed on a tie vote of 2-2. After some additional discussion, I was one that was in the prevailing side. Since I voted no, that would make me in the prevailing side. I voted to reconsider solely for the reason of bringing this to the full board. Since this does generate several sidebar issues, I concluded that it might be, in the interest of fairness, let everybody have a crack at it. So then the motion to reconsider passed 3-1, and that's how it gets here. So
Final say.
Thank you.
everybody gets a
Yeah,
chance at it,
everybody
is
gets a
what I'm
chance.
saying.
And I believe everybody's had the packet. Now, I think we should have do we need a motion to,
You'll need to get it on
Discuss.
the floor, yes.
I'll move to authorize the purchase and installation of window film by Sun Control of Minnesota to increase temperature control efficiency and Village Hall security in an amount not to exceed $2,500.
thank you, Mark.
I'll second.
Thank you, George. Okay, discussion. Darrell, thank you for,
Can
The
I remind everybody,
finance.
there is, in the issue statement, there's a background, present information. If you want to take a look at that while the discussion's going on, in case there's something that may answer your question. Other than that, if start
Well-
with any questions regarding this.
Any questions? And we do, and just so you know, we do have Brian Rosenberger here from Sun Control, or let's see, where is it? Sun Control of Minnesota, that a local resident that has put the bid in on this. So if the board members have questions for Brian, he is here. And anybody on the board have questions or comments?
My 2 cents, I'm for the hurricane film, or security film. I really am for that. The window tint, I'm just not about it.
As far as the, for, stopping the UV or, the comfort
No.
level for,
It's very simple-minded when I'm talking about it. We didn't have, money could be used in better places,
okay?
flat out. I know it's not allocated for, seal coating and stuff like that, but, we need it there.
Okay, Ted, Daryl, anybody else have questions and or comments on,
So Stan, I will say that we had pretty lengthy conversation during the finance committee.
agreed?
Thanks to the stewardship of our seasoned veteran here, it did make it to the full board. But I was personally, penny saved is a penny earned. I wasn't entirely sure it was the best use of general funds, and wasn't entirely convinced that all the avenues have been vetted for fixing the issue.
Okay. George?
You're going right down the line.
Yeah,
Uh,
Daryl?
if
I
that's
mean,
apparently
yeah,
what-
we can, we're gonna
that's
go,
apparently what
jump
you're
in.
doing. I originally voted no, and I would intend to vote no here as well. I wanted to get it here so everybody got a chance at it. I see this as a comfort issue. This is not directed at anyone. There's nothing personal in this about any employee. I want employees to be comfortable, but I think there are other ways to address the comfort factor than simply saying, let's put film on the window and keep heat out of the building. There needs to be some dialogue and some analyzation of air movement, of starting with a lower ambient temperature. There are all kinds of things I think that weigh into this than simply spending the money for the film. And that's why I will be voting no.
Mark, any comments for the rest of the board?
I'm in favor as an attempt to provide a comfort level considering the, well, it may have not have been thoroughly analyzed for the amount of money we're spending here compared to what I'm anticipating could be solutions to the comfort level situation. I think there'd probably be a lot more. It's gone through a remodel, it's gone through a new furnace, and we're still dealing with these issues, so I'm not entirely certain we've tracked down anything with any certainty, so I'm in favor of making an attempt to try to mitigate the comfort situation with the window film.
Colleen, any,
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Mark too. We discussed this at the public safety meeting, and, it sounded reasonable to me to give it a try and see if it decreased the heating cost and increased the comfort of the staff. And as Chief Richard pointed out, the officers cannot take off their bulletproof vests, which was one recommendation, and they need to keep that on to be ready. So it seems reasonable to try to decrease the UV radiation coming in.
and George?
I could not tell from the activity listing here whether or not this material was planned to be put on the, I'm going to refer to two different types of film. You got the one for the hurricane that stops bullets and butts of rifles, and you got the other one that is the sun reflector. So I can't tell if any of these were planned for going on the north side of the building. Was that, okay. I'll give a testimony for the value of putting this stuff on especially on the south windows. If you've ever sat in the chief's office, you know that the sun in the summertime just blazes in on that side of the building. I myself have had this in my home. A matter of fact, I bought my house from Jerry Klecker, who was an engineer on the project many, many years ago when it first came out. I can attest the fact that that stuff really does an amazing job reflecting the UV rays that create all the heat that goes into the chief's office and any windows along that side of the building. I would definitely vote in favor of putting it on all the windows except the north side. As far as the other laminate is concerned, I don't have any personal experience with that, nor did I ever feel I needed to have any. That having been said, I know that stuff has been thoroughly tested. We don't live in the 1950s anymore. We live in the 21st century where we have to be very cognizant of the probability for intrusion. And because of that, and because I value the personnel that we have working inside this building, I will vote in favor of putting on that, what is the actual name of that? The Safety and Security Film?
Which is a retrofit version of laminated glass. And
Right.
It was proposed for the front entry space, interior vestibule curtain wall there, the door, and the I think it was two side lights.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the south side entrance door and side light, as well as the interior side light in the hallway going to the police staff.
And it's not bulletproof, it just
Yeah, right.
slows,
Correct.
it's, yeah.
Well, it depends on how far away the bullet is.
And I agree with you on the north side, we should not window tint
You
anything.
don't need it.
Yeah, I don't know that there are any windows.
There's no windows on the north side.
I think George is referring to these windows.
West or east?
No, I was referring to the north side. I'm just throwing that out, that you wouldn't put them, oh, that's right, in my discussion, but, yeah. Well, we want to put the second floor on the building.
That's a good point.
I think that's out of the budget. Okay,
It's
Yeah.
tough, I'm for the security film, really am. I've watched the videos, it's cool stuff.
Do you have experience, Paul, with the solar film?
Yeah, I do. I have experience with the warranty issues too.
Can we talk about any of
Yeah,
that?
we can talk.
Could we ask you to use the microphones?
Gonna say
You
that,
bet.
if you can answer any other questions.
For the record, I own a Agave kitchen and we do have,
Just thinking that was.
Brian at Sun Control did window tint the entire place. He did a fantastic job and the product that he put on does work very good. It does everything he told me it would. That is true.
okay, Brian,
Yeah,
sales pitch.
So the discussion on the warranty of the window film for commercial spaces generally ranges in between 10 and 15 years. That covers the product, the installation, manufacturer defects, and any clarity issues, that kind of thing. So, abuse is not covered under a warranty with many products. So, typically if people are careful around windows. So, if someone got after it with a fork on the window, yes, it could tear. It could be damaged. There is a hard protective coating on the interior side of the film to maintain normal wear and tear of cleaning. So the product I'm proposing is warranted for 12 years by the manufacturer of 3M against defects, and that covers the product and the labor. The security film is warranted for 10 years by 3M, product and labor. So anything other than abuse, wear and tear over extended periods of time is covered under that warranty.
The neat thing about this is if there is a failure, you peel it off and put on a new piece. It's not like you have to replace the window.
Correct.
Remind me again, how thick is the film?
It's about 2 mil for the solar properties of the film, 2 millimeter, and then the security film that I'm proposing is a 6 mil multi-layer product. In the studies or recommendations in school safety that 3M provides,
they recommend either a 14 mil thick film for school safety or a 6 mil thick Ultra Series, which is the multi-layered product, which has a stronger tear resistance. So if there is an impact or a hole put into the material, it doesn't tear as easily as a 14 mil would, or comparative product that is not multi-layer. So the security film, there's videos online on 3M's website, as well as I have one on my phone that shows us testing the scenario of it being used with ammunition, and then showing the increased strength that the glass has of trying to manipulate that window to get through it. So that was one element of the quote. And certainly this film, depending on, the board's decisions or thoughts, can be addressed in areas where the challenge is. So, if there's a budget condition, I'd like to talk about where we can, match, the expense to what the solutions are, and certainly the proposal can be changed to reflect that. So it's not an all or nothing, and in my opinion.
Okay, Brian, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Now, my comments, and hearing from both sides, to the left and to the right of me, there's been valid issues brought up as far as the use, and have we totally done our due diligence and homework in order to make sure that, hey, can we adjust the fans, or have the fans run? Can we set back the furnaces that we just put in? And as Brian just stated, is can we address certain windows and adjust the bid that way? So I would be of a mind to move this, or to have this come back, or have the little more research done through the staff or Public Works, if we can possibly get an idea, if can we drop the temperatures and stuff by the use. We don't know right now if the fans run all the time, and I've heard comments that we don't know for sure if we're running them 24/7, which can help balance the building. And Chief, if you'd like to make any comments, that would, I've like George, have been in the chief's office in the afternoons, and it is uncomfortable. There's no other way to say that, and I'm not sure the other officers, but I know when with the sun coming through there, even with shades and stuff like that, it is uncomfortable, and like I said, the police have to wear a lot more clothing than the rest of us. So we have a motion and a second, and like I said, I'm going to probably vote to have further research done on the project. So
I still think we should pass the security film.
Brian, can you do the security film and then put the reflective film after it, or?
You can. It typically voids a warranty by 3M. It wouldn't. If you did it in that direction, the safety film plus, the solar film, then, it wouldn't actually.
That's not what he's asking. He's asking, can you do one and then the other at a later date, I'm sure.
Okay.
Is that what you're asking, George?
Yeah, you're saying you
Oh,
could
yeah.
be supportive of the security film.
Yeah,
sorry.
that's what,
And then,
that's what he's
yeah,
asking.
and then,
Yeah.
and my question was, okay, you put the security film on, but I don't think that's the way 3M designed this stuff to go on.
Well, so the only areas we're proposing the security film are areas that are
Inside.
not proposed for solar.
Right.
Oh,
You don't
okay.
layer
So
the
that
two.
wasn't clear.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
you don't layer the two, it's two different
All right.
windows.
So it'd be the entryways to the police interior entryway, and the south and the west entrances. proposed for the security film, which in my proposal, I should have everything itemized per room.
And the other next question would be, if we don't take the whole package, is that, there is a discount of $375 on
I
here.
would have to reflect the actual value of that line item.
All
Mark?
right, if the tenor is to readdress it, how long have you been dealing with this situation?
Since we moved in 2008.
All right, and since then, you've done nothing other than replace the furnace and come up with a window film idea?
And I did put a small fan in my office for a
No,
little
but
while.
what I'm suggesting, all I'm doing is, when it's suggested we're gonna look at different methods, what new methods, for you worked with the Public Works Director on this, this wasn't your idea in coming up with this stuff, so.
Correct.
What I'm concerned about is we go back, and what direction are we supposed to give these guys? Turn the heat down, turn it up, buy equipment, get bids for stuff? Cause who's really in charge of gonna tell them where to go with this?
Good point.
Yeah, cause if it's been happening since when? 2008?
Correct.
And
5
if
years,
we
and I'm
have
guessing
adjusted-
somebody's tried messing with the temperature gauges, I'm guessing somebody's monkeyed with the furnace. So it seems to me the posture is we just don't believe you're comfortable, there's gotta be a different method, and we're gonna find somebody who's gonna come up with this. Yeah, other than our own staff, who's already been looking at, I assume?
Yeah,
Okay,
I
that's
met
what I'm getting at, so
with Mark Ekblad. of Public
nothing but
Works.
just the only new furnace and then the window film,
That's been
and not thought about anything else.
we haven't we've talked about other things, but
Yes,
of course
well, my
cost
point is
preventative.
you probably
and-
looked at other avenues, right?
Yeah, the ones that were mentioned at finance were not directly investigated. Overhead fans and those types of things. That were also, I'm unsure because Mark Ekblad was not at the meeting and I haven't asked this question directly about the settings of the particular furnace and whether that would change anything, but
What I'm gonna ask right now is, I'm gonna interrupt you, if we're gonna leave it here, I'd like to have somebody tell them what to look into and who's gonna look into it.
And now, and just for my clarification, the new furnaces were just put in last summer, correct?
correct.
A bathroom exhaust fan.
2013. And part of the
about the
issue
hot
there
air.
is that we had heat and air conditioning running simultaneously
Same
and
time.
fighting against each other.
That's fine, okay, but we're not gonna solve it here tonight, I don't think we're gonna get into a, HVAC discussion, but if somebody wants to take the lead on this and help these guys go with it, and explain your theories on how it's gonna get fixed or any suggestions, I think that would be helpful.
Anybody wanna jump in down there?
Otherwise, it reminds me of the time we were gonna do the study on the light poles. And Lori reminded at us at the time, is we don't have people to do studies.
Fuck it, I'll do it.
You just
Yeah.
You have a list?
Talk to him on Monday.
Okay. Thank you, Paul.
More than happy to talk to you on Monday.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second on the deal, on the floor. So,
I tried beeping.
we could have a
I'm not gonna wait though.
vote to, install the film, or we can we table, maybe we have to vote and then go back to the table.
You can only, they can.
Well, we probably, unless we're gonna take a definitive, affirmative or negative posture on this motion, there probably ought to be a postponement of this to a date specific. Is that what you're wanting to have done?
That's, yeah, and that's what it sounds like. I mean, we've got a split board and,
We have to take
We
a
don't know.
vote.
and,
And a
well,
motion on the
Why
table,
don't we
right?
take a?
motion
take
on
a-
the table?
We can
Did you
bring
take a
this
vote?
back,
You can
we
always
can
bring it back.
next month
Okay.
if we want to. So it's just,
Yeah, there is a motion on the table that we
Okay.
need to dispose of. At this point, the body owns the issue.
Okay.
Mr. President, I move to postpone this issue to the next village board meeting.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Ted?
So that overrides or
It does. Cool.
Well, if it passes.
No, but I thought we already had a motion on the floor.
Yeah, this
I'm
becomes,
new to
this a
this.
priority motion.
There you go.
Okay, any further discussion on this?
It's still, okay, I can see that you want to postpone it to get it more definitive, but it still doesn't address the reflective sun, or the blazing sun into the south side of the building.
We've had a volunteer here to deal with this issue and come back with a report.
I just sent Chief a text asking if I can come in tomorrow at 11 instead of Monday.
And just to clarify, to the next meeting, which is about 3 weeks away, rather than the normal 4 weeks away.
The next meeting.
25th. Okay. Okay, Paul?
I'm gonna call my cousin Doug Bakken at Anderson Heating and tell him to come with me.
Okay, so we have the motion to propose.
Was it seconded?
Motion.
Yes.
Ted
Yes,
seconded.
was second.
To postpone, Paul?
Call for further discussion.
Further
and then
discussion?
take a vote.
I mean, I think discussion is
Yep.
complete. Motion to postpone until the next meeting, Paul?
Yes.
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 Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Begrudgingly, yes.
Thank you, everyone.
Don't give up.
Is there any more information I can help?
We'll meet with Paul on that.
No, thank you very much. You
Thanks,
were-
Brian.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you were very
Thank you.
helpful.
Do you wanna come do it tomorrow, or Rosenberger? Sure. I can sit in your office, can't I?
You might get warm.
No.
You have to have escort only in there, even me. Okay, next item on the agenda is public welfare.
No update from public law.
No update, thank you. Park board, Colleen, I think you got some,
Yes, we worked on updating the park plan for 2014 to 2019, which Melissa was very helpful in getting it updated. The line items changed on the PDF on the website, which he did send to everyone. I do have a hard copy here. And once it is approved, all the yellow will be erased and it'll look nice and pretty on the website. So I would move to approve the outdoor recreation plan for the Village of North Hudson as presented.
is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Daryl. Discussion. Colleen, can you, some of the highlights of what was changed for, I mean, this is an old plan, I mean, a plan that we've had, and I know we have to go, every 5 years, or,
Well,
I
we
believe.
had updated the wording on the map, for one thing, for Chief Jansen Memorial Park. The map is a lot clearer, more readable. Under the facilities, like for Browns Beach, there's no lifeguard. Deer Run Park, there's maintain equipment instead of installing new equipment. Ferry Landing Park, install a playground. Glen Oaks, we added the playground, so that was changed. And under Pepperfest Park, we put in the acreage and crossed out the playground since there's no playground here anymore. Added the Veterans Memorial. And under Chief Jansen Memorial Park, added the playground, shelter, trail, restrooms, the memorial, and continue to maintain that equipment. There are still some funds left to be used for that park. And then to work with other committees or organizations for projects such as the pedestrian bike coalition for those trails, or if there's grants, work with the county or other municipalities. So that's the major things. And we will be putting pictures in once we have the parks look a little better when they're not covered with snow.
Is it appropriate for us to be approving this before it's finished? Well-
We did the last time and said install pictures, insert pictures.
Okay, any further discussion? Anybody?
Any chance
Questions?
we could have the village signs put up at the same time? I had to ask.
I don't know if that's a park
Yeah.
issue.
I had to ask, Stan.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know what I would have done? I wouldn't have asked the state, but that's a different position. Okay, anything else, Colleen? I mean, well, we've got this, so all in favor of, or let's see, yeah, there's no
Yeah.
spending
We got a motion.
Yeah, there's.
motion, so in the discussion's done, so all in favor of, approving the, revised outdoor recreation plan for 2014 through 2019, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Colleen, anything else?
Yeah, we'd like to install some new playground equipment in Ferry Landing Park. The equipment that was there was moved from Pepperfest Park. It's old, not very safe anymore, and it'd be nice to have some nice equipment in there. There's a picture of it in your packet. So I had moved to approve the transfer of $8,033 from the Park Development Fund savings account to cover the purchase of Challenger park equipment for Ferry Landing Park.
Is there a second or
I'll
anything
second.
add to the motion? Mark, I mean.
No, she did it.
Okay, she did, okay. For accounting purposes, we're good.
Because it was reworded to include the transfer of the funds, it's
Okay.
fine.
Yeah, there was a discussion at finance that, from wording, but thank you, Colleen, for that. Motion's been, made and seconded to purchase equipment, and let's see, I guess it's kind of a spending issue. George?
Yes.
Yes?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Is that a yes, or did he just do no?
Yes, it is.
Okay, I thought it was gonna be different. Okay, let's see, that, and the letter.
I know, I'm getting to that.
I didn't want him to go on yet.
Anything else?
Yeah, for the letter of support for the Transportation Alternative Program grant application, I'm going to postpone that till the March 25th meeting since it's not quite ready.
Okay,
And
thank
that's
you.
to, the county was approved to apply for the next level of grant application. And so what this letter would do would just say that the village is in support of the grant application for the planning grant to help with the Bike Pedestrian Coalition for the new trail system in the county.
Will that have any strings attached that they usually do when you have grants?
The city is paying part of it, and the rest is all grant. It doesn't cost the village anything for the grant application.
Okay, thank you. Okay, and there was an amended, agenda that went around, but the item 14 has been, resolved, so we will not have to go into closed session this evening. And the last item is, Mr. Zappa.
Move to adjourn, Stan.
Thank you, Mark. And let the meeting minutes show this meeting is adjourned at 7:59.